that all was a-happening, we have to go back a bit and talk about some other important events that were unfolding. Back in those early 1940s, Joe and his sweetheart Lucy done run off and got themselves hitched. Woo-wee! That surely ruffled a few folks' feathers. Couple of years later, Dennis W. Morgan moseyed into existence. Then a bit further down the road, his sister Pam, another sister Tony, and his little brother Joe Jr. So that's how old Doc came to be in this here big old world. He grew up right under Joe and Lucille's watchful eyes and learned the value of hard work and how to toe the mark. Doc got his start in the family business at the ripe old age of 9 years old, back when the production facility was in his pappy's garage and there wasn't much in the way of those child labor laws. Dennis took himself to Purdue University for some real book learning, and by the time he graduated, he was ready to devote himself to the family business full time. Turned out to be quite a salesman, too. That boy could sell snow to an Eskimo. In 1967, Dennis had gotten himself hitched to a pretty little gal named Ruth Ellen Hawkins.
Gonna get married, going to the chapel, and we're gonna get married. We really love you, and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel.
They'd barely blown out them candles on their wedding cake when, less than a year later, showed up the first youngin', little Mary Lynn. 2 years went by and they had another little gal, Amy Marie. And just when things got a bit quiet, the good Lord sent him another, Christine Ann. You'd thought that'd be his undoing, that gaggle of girls, when they was blessed with a mighty fine surprise. Old Doc finally found himself holding a 10-pound, 11-ounce baby boy when he should have been at the age of contemplating a midlife crisis. Yep, little Michael Dennis was his pride and joy. During all that, Doc and his family were growing the company beyond anyone's wildest notions. Old Doc stayed true to who he was, kept things pretty low-key. Heck, he didn't change the style of shirt he wore for some 40 years. That's just the kind of humble, no-nonsense fella Doc is.
I'll be a fool for you, 'cause you've got personality, walk, personality, talk, personality, style, personality, charm, personality, love, personality, and plus you got a great big heart. So over and over, well, I'll be a fool for you. Now over and over. Now what more can I do? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Now, I know by now you're wondering, how long can this cowboy go on? Well, I hope I don't have to remind you that Dennis has been on this fair earth for 70 years, and a fella sure can rack up a lot of accomplishments in that time, not to mention a wonderful family. For 42 years, Dennis was with his loving wife, Ruth. Our boy devoted everything he had to that good woman. Ruthie, she was a mighty fine musician, and Dennis soon found that one of his talents lay in roadie skills. He followed her like a pup follows his tail. Well, as Dennis always does, he sure made the most of it. Ruthie made quite a name for herself in the music business, and you could always find Dennis by her side, moving equipment, hooking up electronics, and simply tapping his toe. The two of them gathered up a heck of a following of friends in the music biz and had a heck of a time doing it. Then came Ruthie's untimely passing in late 2009. Them were some pretty dark days. Well, with part of his heart up there with her at the pearly gates and part down here, he put his burr in his saddles and continued riding on, determined to keep making this old world a better place and keeping a distant eye on his youngins, even though they're all grown up now. Remember little Mary Lynn? Why, she's all grown up, and now she's up and got herself hitched to God. Who'd have figured somebody in this clan would do something like that? Of course, Ruthie always said that someday Mary's daddy would drive her to the nunnery, God rest her soul. The good Lord sure does got himself a mighty fine sense of humor. Amy, the one in the middle, is also all grown up, and her daddy married her off to a business tycoon, R.J. Kotha, for the price of a bit of fool's gold. You can find them enjoying life out west with two little darlings, Maya and Devika. They're just the apple of their grandpappy's eye. And little Christy is growing up to be a bright young woman herself, even if she did end up with one of those Kerrigan boys. Just joking now. She married herself to Charlie and has a family of 6, complete with 4 youngins, Greg, Christopher, Nicole, and Andrew. She's a national accounts manager in her old man's organization to boot. Can't forget the youngest of the Morgan clan. Youngest, but nowhere near the smallest. That youngin' Mike, he done growed up to be over 6 feet tall. I'll be. He's taken after his daddy all right. That boy's as hard working as the day is long. He found himself a fancy job downtown in the windy city of Chicago, working in one of them giant towers looking down on the small folk and making his papa proud. Rumor has it old Doc now got himself a special friend, Mary Ann. Sweet little thing. He's known her since she was a little ankle biter. Heck, he took that girl to her high school prom, and now we hear tell the two are taking dancing lessons. Some folks think hell done froze over when they see old Doc out there jigging with his new sweetie. Everybody's glad he's living life to the fullest, though, as Doc always finds a way to do. Well, I guess that's the way the whole darn human comedy keeps perpetuating itself. Down through the generations, westward the wagons, across the sands of time, until... Oh, look at me. I'm rambling again. Happy birthday, Dennis. May the man upstairs grant you another 70 more wonderful years, because the world just keeps being a better place with you in it. Here's a few folks that just wanted to add their 2 cents.
Happy birthday, Denny! Happy birthday, and many more, Denny, to you. Happy birthday, dear Denny. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha.
A birthday duet for Grandpa.
Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to Papa. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Hey Papa, we missed you. I love you. We missed you. I love you. We hope you have a fun surprise birthday. That is really old.